Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, hope you guys are doing well and keeping your minds occupied with the whole coronavirus epidemic going on. Hopefully, you know, your time is going by quickly here on True School Sports. Thank you for stopping by the channel. Now, I wanted to talk about somebody who I've never made a video about. This is actually my first time making a video about this fighter, even though he's world champion, even though he's getting a lot of notoriety in the boxing industry, in the boxing world. And that guy is WBA featherweight champion Zhu Can, or some people say Zhan Zhu. I say Zhu Can because I heard him his name pronounced that way first, and I heard his name pronounced like that even in, was it China or Japan, when he fought Shun Kobo. So I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not very familiar. I wasn't very familiar with Zhu Can up until just recently. I mean, I've heard of him. I've heard of him. I've seen his name. I've been hearing his name throughout the boxing world, but I wasn't really too familiar with him as a fighter. So I watched some highlights of his fight with Jesus Rojas, where he won the title. Absolutely amazing performance. Just a crazy volume puncher. And then this morning, I actually watched the full fight of his fight versus Shun Kobo, which was his first title defense. I watched it twice because it was such an exciting fight. If you haven't seen that fight, I'd highly recommend you go watch that fight. You can find some copies of it on the internet. There's not on YouTube, but there's some copies of it on the internet if you look hard enough. So I watched his fight against Shun Kobo twice this morning, and I just got done watching his fight against Manny Robles III. So this is my impressions of Zhu Can. Now that I've had a chance to watch him for myself and make some observations and just look at how he is as a fighter, here are my impressions of Zhu Can as a fighter. First of all, Zhu Can, the first thing that jumps out at me immediately, it'll jump out immediately at anybody who watches him fight, is his volume punching. The guy is an absolutely just energetic workhorse of a fighter. The guy he keeps going, and throwing, and when he throws these combinations, they just seem to flow like a steady stream like a steady stream of water. He goes upstairs, downstairs, hooks, jabs, right hands. Anything he could seemingly think to throw at you, he will throw at you. So I like his work rate. I like the volume punching, and things like that. Clear vulnerabilities he has as a fighter are also evident, which is he's there to be hit. A lot of times, if the opponent throws more than two punches, or two punches or more in a combination, Zhu Can's head stays on a line, and he sometimes shells up, and he can get hit because of that. Sometimes too, when Zhu Can throws hooks, he doesn't move his head off the line, or he'll throw a combination punch and his head will stay on the line. For those of you who don't know what this term "on the line" means, like when a fighter is fighting, I just imagine there's a line in the middle of, like, let's say there's a line in the middle of the screen. So as a fighter, you don't want to keep your head on the line. If you throw a punch, you want to slip to the right side of the line or the left side of the line. So that way you're creating a constant stream of head movement and allowing the opponent to miss punches, so you can then counter punch off of the misses. If your head stays on the line and it doesn't move to the right or to the left off the line, then you're more susceptible to get hit, and that's a problem that Zhu Can has. Now, the Jesus Rojas fight, ever since that fight, he hooked up with the world-renowned trainer, and he's here in Miami. One of Cuba's very own, one of South Florida's adopted very own, Pedro Diaz of Mundo Boxing Gym. The world-renowned Cuban trainer, Pedro Diaz, is known for training his fighters to win, man. His fighters come to win. They come prepared. I've been around a lot of boxing gyms over the years, and I've seen a lot of trainers from all over the world prepare their fighters for fights, but very few trainers have I seen in my life, if any, are more meticulous and more diligent in their preparation than Pedro Diaz. And that gym, Mundo Boxing Gym, it's a hotbed for knockout punchers, pressure fighters, and volume punchers. So Zhu Can fits right into what they got going on over there. But he's a good fighter, man. He's a good fighter. I think, with him being, 26 years old, he's got a couple of training camps with Pedro Diaz. He doesn't have the most power in the world, but he makes up for what he doesn't have in power. He makes up for it with great work rate and just relentless abandon. So good for him, man. I like Zhu Can. I think he's a fighter that, if you're not really too familiar with him, you should take this time while we're on quarantine to go check his fights out because he's really entertaining. Um, one thing I know as Pedro Diaz has been trying to do with Zhu Can is when he moves his head off the line. So let's say if he's here, right, if he throws a jab, bang, and then he moves it off the line. He steps over to the right. What Pedro Diaz wants him to do is double and triple up on the same punch. So I noticed in the Manny Robles fight, he was telling him to step off to his right and move his head off the line to the right and triple up on punches, or if it was to the left, same thing, to triple up on punches. So Pedro Diaz seems like he's trying to get Zhu Can to work the angles but still maintain the same work rate and punch output that he has always had. So that's going to be an ongoing adjustment and tweak to his skills, to his style. But I think it's a sensible tweak to his style because, Zhu Can is rumored to fight Josh Warrington next. And Josh Warrington might be the first fighter in Zhu Can's career who we could honestly say can match the work rate and maybe even outwork Zhu Can. They're both two of the highest punch output fighters in boxing. Not too many fighters in boxing are throwing the amount of punches per fight in any weight class like a Zhu Can or Josh Warrington. So when this whole epidemic ends and things go some back to normal, when things go somewhat back to normal, that Zhu Can Josh Warrington fight has fight of the year written all over it because of the punch output and because of the fact that neither of them have a lot of knockout power. And in order for them to really hurt you, they got to hit you with a lot of punches, a steady stream, a steady diet of punches. So I think that's where all the adjustments, all the tweaks Pedro Diaz has been making to Zhu Can's style are gonna come into play. And Josh Warrington's a guy that's been in big fights, won big fights. Zhu Can also has been in some decent fights and won big fights, but make no mistake about it, for both of them, it'll be the biggest fight and the toughest fight I think both of them has had in their career so far. And to me, I don't normally say this often, but I think that fight is a true pick'em fight. I think it's a pick'em fight because of the work rates, and neither one of them really is punching each other, is punching out of this world. So it'll be a dog fight. I think it's going at least past the 8th round at least. And who knows? We might see some records broken, but yeah, that's my opinion on Zhu Can. He's a fighter who's very much not a finished article. He's 26 years old. He's got 20 fights. He's only had about 2 or 3 under Pedro Diaz. And Pedro Diaz is trying to get him to work those angles, get his head off the line, and double up and triple up on the same punch when he moves his head off the line. So just look out for that as his career progresses. And we'll definitely be covering Zhu Can as he moves forward. And who knows, man, maybe when this virus ends and he's here in Miami, your boy BT might interview Zhu Can. So, hey, if he's out there, be nice to do an interview with one of China's very own. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. These are my first impressions of Zhu Can. Leave me your thoughts about him as a fighter down below. Take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys.